Welcome to the Ashes into Beauty podcast with your host, Stephanie Marie Laswell, divorce concierge at The Divorce Life. Hello, listeners. Thank you for tuning in today. This is your host, Stephanie, and I am here with my friend Ryan from True Dads, and I am very excited to have this conversation because I just recently learned about True Dads. And so if I just learned about you guys, then I'm thinking that maybe our listeners don't know much about you. So I am very excited to have you share how you wrap your arms around dads that have gone through a divorce or maybe just facing it for the first time, trying to figure out the co-parenting situation. Like, you guys got it all figured out.
Well, I don't know that we have it all figured out, but we're willing to jump in with our participants and help them through the process. And, we're very fortunate. We are a federally funded fatherhood program based right here in Oklahoma City. And it is unique in that it's for dads and co-parents and their co-parent, whoever they decide that to be. That can be dad and maybe the person that they, recently have been divorced, or it can be dad and grandma that have decided, okay, we're going to raise these children together. We're going to figure out a way to make it work on how to be better parents and communicators. And so it's really based on how to learn how to work better together, build relationships, and then also there's an employment piece tied into it if they should choose that track so that they and their kids can win at life. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a very, very unique program. And, this is, my second year with the organization. And, I'm glad that you have me on the podcast today.
That's awesome. Well, like I said, I feel like you guys provide so much value. And it's like we're redefining family differently now, right? It's changed, it's shifting, and it's not a traditional family setting anymore. And so you're helping people navigate what that looks like and have the skills so that they can father in healthy manners. And I love that. Yeah.
Well, and I think, we see that it's more and more common in our world today. And I think, that's why, we are a federally funded program. They have seen the need for resources for these parenting teams. We call them parenting teams because that truly is what they are. It's dad and the person that is in their life that has committed to raising a child 12 or younger. And that is how the curriculum is designed. And, our curriculum is an 8-week program where these parenting teams come through and they learn everything from how to be better parents, better communicators, financial literacy. There's employment resources also in that. And it's wonderfully designed and is very, very pertinent to our world today, because we do see these parenting teams come through that are like, look, we got a divorce. Yeah. We know we're not going to be together, but we have these kids and we got to figure out a way to make it work for them. Mm-hmm. And we know we're not going to get back together, but we got to figure out a way to communicate better with each other because right now we're fighting and it's affecting our kids. Right now we're fighting over, the house, this and this and this and this. And it's toxic and it's affecting our family. It's affecting our kids. And so the way this program is designed is to help them through those challenges. In session number 3, we go over speaker listener technique, which helps them fight fair. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I've been married almost 20 years. And when I first learned the speaker listener technique, I came home to my wife. I had the magnet. I said, man, we need to practice this. Man, I wish we would have had this, when we were first married, would have saved us from a lot of arguments. Mm-hmm. And that's the way the curriculum is designed. Mm-hmm. Because oftentimes, Stephanie, the reality is dad is going to come to workshop and the co-parent may not come at all.
Right.
And be like, no, I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm not happy with you. I'm not coming, or it can be flip-flop. And so what we try to do is work with them through that process. And we've seen amazing stories. And the beautiful part of True Dads is when they enroll in the program, they're assigned to a family support coach, right? And they sit down in their first office visit and they meet with the parenting team. And I've seen the best and the worst. I've seen couples that, are really doing great. And then I've seen couples that won't even look at each other.
Yeah. And
they got a brand new newborn. But the coaches are so well versed in helping them through the challenges. And a lot of the things that we see right now with these parenting teams are, it's a number of things. I think one thing that's at the forefront of my thoughts is housing, helping these teams figure out a way that they can get better housing, or employment. How can we keep the job that we have, but get a better job? And better provide, if I'm a dad, and I'm working, better provide for my children and my co-parent, and luckily we have employment resources at the ready in our building to where we can quickly get them into Work Ready Oklahoma, which will help them with employment resources. It will help them with employment coaching. And then ultimately we'll get them access to thousands of employers that we partner with to get that. Yeah.
It's really a holistic approach.
It really is. And, we try to help them through any obstacle, eliminate any barrier, whether it relates to parenting, communication, employment. And that's the way that this program was designed. And, our founder, during the late 90s with the marriage initiative, that was kind of how she got this started, and worked with Governor Keating to kind of get these launched. And then they have just grown from there. And, our funding has come from Office of Family Assistance on the federal side, and then locally DHS. And we've been able to work closely with them and grow this program to be where it's nationally known now as one of the top fatherhood programs.
That's great. And I didn't even know about it. Here it is, right under my nose.
It's right
I didn't
here
even know about
OKC.
it, right here. So after they journey through this 8-week program, what does it look like for them after that?
Well, as they go through the 8-week curriculum, it's 8 weeks of workshops that are usually 3 hours long, and in the evenings or on the weekend. So we try to make it to where they have some flexibility and can attend. And throughout that 8 weeks, we meet with them, regularly in office visits with their family support coach to just check in and see how they're doing, how things are going. What are some of the barriers? What are some of the issues? What do they need? A lot of it is goal setting too, from the very beginning. And, we were talking about finances and those things that we know people who are going through divorce really struggle. Right. Well, we also have the legal resource and tied into this. We have a family law class where they can attend, where, we have an attorney that will walk them through what they're going to face, as they are dealing with child support, as they are considering divorce or not, and all the obstacles that come with that, just so they're informed. And then the other piece of that is, since we are dealing with children, is we have an on-site DHS worker that, let's be real. Sometimes it's just the other partner is not taking care of business and is putting children in a bad environment. And the other one has to take the responsibility of saying, I need some help with this because I don't like what's going on when they're not with me. And so we are able to get them DHS support. But to answer your question, what it looks like as they stay in the workshops, you complete all 8 of those. They have they have services for 1 year from the time they enroll. So if something should happen, and even they've gone through this 8 weeks of workshops, and they lose their job, or they need substance abuse recovery, or whatever the case may be, they still have access to a family support coach that can help them through those challenges. And again, if they should decide to, while they're going through True Dads, to join, our Work Ready Oklahoma piece, employment coaching, we walk alongside them during that time as well, just to help them find that job, or keep the job that they have right now and find a better job. So they have access to those services for 1 year. And then once they complete all workshops, they'll get a completion letter. And a lot of times that's very helpful. I just worked with the dad this week that he finished all 8. He's a single dad. He's had some very, very tough challenges, and this completion letter is going to help him through a very difficult court situation that he will have coming up. But it just shows that, hey, I've done my part. Yeah. I've worked on myself. I'm working to get a better job. I'm taking care of my kids. And I finished an 8-week program on how to be a better parent and communicator. Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. That's huge in the courtroom, especially when sometimes we often see that the courts aren't siding with fathers, and they get the bad end of the deal. Yeah. And, like I mentioned, coming in, I had the privilege of being a fatherhood engagement specialist for the last 2 years. And that's, you don't hear that title used very much, but it's designed to walk alongside the dads with resources throughout the program, because a lot of times us men, we don't ask for help, and we don't, we don't think we need help. And then it becomes too late, and then we're in crisis. We've lost our job, or we've said something hurtful to our partner, or we've let our anger get the best of us, or we haven't what we call made it safe to connect, as a father or as a partner, and we haven't done our part. And oftentimes, with the dads, I have to have that conversation. And most of the time, Stephanie, they won't open up around their partner or the co-parent because they feel weak, or they just don't want to share what's on their heart. But I was fortunate to be able to take them out to breakfast or lunch and just say, hey, man, I know you haven't been here in about 4 weeks. What's going on? You can talk to me, man. I've heard the worst. You don't have to worry about anything. And just having that person that they can talk to really helps them open up. And we can kind of get to the bottom one-on-one, as men and as dads, as like, here's what I'm dealing with. Here, I'm your bro. Come on. Here's why I'm not doing what I'm doing. And, we try to lead with grace and all of that. But we also have to have some tough conversations and say, you know what, you're not working and you need to get a job, or, you're using and it's really affecting, the relationship, or, let's get you some help, and those are the conversations that we're able to have, and be very candid in those conversations as to, the issue and overcoming those barriers, and just walk alongside of them. And we've seen some that have started, and, they have 1 year to complete, and I've had a few that just have fallen off, or they've gotten in trouble and they don't call me back, or we lose track of them. And then 4 months later, I get a call. And they'll say, hey, man, I messed up. I want to come back. I said, man, we got you. Come on. we'll see you Monday, and no worries. We all make mistakes, and they finish out. Sometimes it's a long journey, but we're dealing with people, Stephanie. And we know that things happen, life happens, things. I was just sharing the other day. I'm a father and have been married, almost 20 years now. We have everything we need. Mm-hmm. But you know what? There are days where we don't. Yeah. And we get in a bind. And, we need resources. We need help. And thankfully, we have grandparents. We can say, my in-laws and my parents are still alive. And, they're every once in a while, my wife is a school teacher, and it gets crazy, and every once in a while we got a call, and, because we have 2 young kids, and say, can you help? Can you take so-and-so to practice? Or can you pick so-and-so up? Or can you, and that's reality. Mm-hmm. And we share that with the teams, and we're like, hey, we know this is going to be tough, and we're here with you every step of the way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to live in community, and
absolutely.
And like, none of us are perfect, and none of us have it all figured out. And so that's why when we can have these safe spaces and communities that we can trust to like help us guide us through this crazy life and this roller coaster, it makes life so much better.
Absolutely. That's a big piece of it. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's really beautiful what you guys are doing, and I'm certainly glad to know about you now, and I want to go through the course because I'm like, well, we could benefit through, all of us could probably benefit through going through that course. So is there like events that you guys do, or is it mainly just this workshop, or how do people like engage and get started with you guys?
Yeah. Well, if they, the first thing is, if they want to become a part of True Dads, there are a few requirements. And the first thing is they have to be a dad, and they have to be raising a child 12 or younger. Okay. And they have a couple of options. What we really desire is that they have a co-parent. They find someone to go through the program with them. And like I said at the very beginning, co-parent can be defined as their ex-wife, and they're gonna agree to come through this parenting and communication program together. I've seen dad and brother come through, because that's all dad had was his brother to kind of help raise the family, I've seen grandma, I've seen girlfriend, I've seen, but we really pushed them to have a co-parent with them go through the program. Now, the exciting and the way that they can sign up is on our website, truedads.com, and they can fill out the information, and then we will call them and invite them in, and just kind of assess their needs and, get started that way. But the other piece I wanted to add that we just started is True Dad Solo, and that's for single dads. And that is a program that we felt like we needed to start, and that we were seeing dads that didn't have a co-parent, that they lost their spouse, or their partner has moved out of state, and they're all alone raising these children, and they need support. And so we launched True Dad Solo last week. Our first cohort, we had 17 dads. Oh, wow. And it's just phenomenal because they're all single dads. Mm-hmm. They're all in it together, and they know exactly what they need. And they're sharing with one another on the barriers that they're facing. And there's really they make all the decisions themselves, right? Because that's all they have. They don't have to wait on, well, I don't know if my wife can make it, or if grandma can keep the kids, or, it's like straightforward. We're coming. We need this. We got to get started. So that's another program that we've launched. And the great thing about this, Stephanie, is that they can earn incentives as they go through the program. So if they don't have transportation, for example, we'll send a taxi to pick them up and bring them to the building, or we'll help them with a gas stipend, and they can earn money, for meeting those metrics, up to $250 and completing the program. So we on occasion we will have events for the dads, where sometimes we'll take them out bowling. We'll take them. We had a college football game or day for dads this year that was huge, and we had probably 40 dads there with our program, Family Expectations, which is for couples who are expecting. And a True Dads event where we all got together and played dominoes and played cards and watched football and had pizza and wings, and it was a good time. So, yeah, those are some of the things that we'll do on occasion for the dads.
Awesome. And is there any cost to join or do anything like that?
It's completely free.
It's a free resource that we need to be shouting from the rooftops.
Yes, please do.
Yeah,
please do.
For sure. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you feel like is important to share with our audience today?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for having me on, and I just want to tell the listeners, that I know, divorce is not easy, and I really feel like what you are doing, Stephanie, is powerful. We've worked with, and I've worked with some dads recently who are going through divorce, who are considering divorce, who are they just don't know what to do, and they don't have the money to do what they feel like they need to do. And I just can't speak enough to what you're doing, Stephanie. I think is a wonderful thing, and I've just seen the trials and tribulations of how if it's not done right, the further harm that occurs, and together with programs like with True Dads and with what you're doing coaching wise, we can help people navigate these waters, because I know it's not easy.
No,
and we're here to help, and we're not gonna turn anyone away, and we're gonna help them walk through that, and again, make the best out of the situation at all times. Yeah,
that's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for
being
here.
Thanks for having me.
And sharing this and doing the hard work that you're doing.
Well, thank you.
It is also taxing to walk through seasons with people like this sometimes. And so it takes a lot out of you sometimes. So thank you for your work.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for what you're doing as well.
Yes. And until next time, you guys go out there and radiate love.
For more information on services or divorce resources provided by The Divorce Life, you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram, or find us at www.thedivorcelife.com. Thank you for tuning in and listening, and a big thanks to my producer, Jazz, at the Possibilities Podcast Center.